You ever notice how some buildings are designed to just blend in, to almost vanish into the background? Well, it turns out people can be built the same way. Today, we're going to explore the architecture of the silent child. Seriously, think about that for a second. That feeling of being right there, but not really seen. Like your voice is there, but it's stuck on mute. You ever wonder where a feeling like that even comes from? Well, for so many of us, the blueprints for that invisibility were drawn up a long, long time ago, back in childhood. And what starts out as just being the quiet kid doesn't always stay there. It can grow into this full-blown disappearing act in our adult lives.
So to really get this, we have to go back to the very beginning, to the original plans. And let's take a look at the quiet child's blueprint.
Okay, first things first, this is absolutely crucial to understand. Being the silent child, it's not a personality trait. It's not about being an introvert or being shy. It's a role you learn to play as a strategy. Really, a strategy for emotional survival. So what kind of environment actually builds this role? Well, it could be a home with a lot of conflict, where making noise feels dangerous. Or maybe the caregivers were just emotionally distant, so reaching out felt kind of pointless. Or, and this one is really subtle, maybe you were the kid who was always praised for being no trouble, which is code for please keep your needs to yourself. Sometimes it's as simple as watching one of your parents make themselves small just to keep the peace. You see it and you learn it. And all of this external stuff, it doesn't just stay on the outside. A child starts to internalize these lessons. They actually start learning the skills of how to be invisible. And believe me, it becomes a skill. It's something that gets practiced and perfected over years. You figure out that the best way to get through a tricky, unpredictable world is just to shrink, to take up as little emotional and physical space as you possibly can. It's a survival adaptation, plain and simple. And like any skill, it's got a set of rules. Think of them as the unspoken rules of invisibility. Rule number 1, you get really good at reading the emotional temperature of a room. Rule 2, you learn to just push your own needs and feelings way down. They don't matter. Rule 3, never ever ask for too much attention. And the final golden rule, make yourself small to avoid conflict, no matter what. And this right here, this is the logic driving the whole thing. It's the little voice inside that says, look, if I just stay quiet, if I don't cause any waves, then I'll be safe. And deep down what that really means is, then I will be loved. But here's the catch, right? What happens when a survival skill that was designed for your childhood gets carried over into your adult life? Well, that's when it becomes the adult disappearing act. And at this point, it's not even a conscious choice. The disappearing act is just that old childhood programming running on autopilot. It's the unconscious repetition of those old rules, and it starts showing up everywhere, at work, with your friends, in your most important relationships. And this creates this incredibly frustrating disconnect inside you. So your conscious mind is thinking, I really want that promotion, but that old programming kicks in, and you stay totally silent in the big meeting. You tell yourself, I need support from my partner, but the second they ask what's wrong, you default to, I'm fine, just to avoid a fight. You know you deserve to be heard, but you just let people talk right over you. All of this internal conflict, it has very, very real consequences on the outside. It can lead to what you might call a life lived on mute. And there's a real cost to living this way. Your career stalls because your best ideas are never heard. Your relationships become one-sided because your needs aren't even part of the equation. It breeds this chronic self-doubt, that nagging feeling of being an imposter. And at the end of the day, it just leads to a life where your most basic needs are constantly and quietly going unmet. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The silence that's the most deafening isn't in an empty room. It's that empty space in a conversation, in a decision, in your own life, right where your voice was supposed to be. So if this is the architecture, if this is the blueprint that was laid down for you, it really leads to one final powerful question. Maybe the first step isn't some huge, grand gesture. Maybe it's just one small act of defiance against the silence. So I'll leave you with this. What happens when you decide to stop disappearing? What new things could you build then?